Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to comment on a story out of, you guessed it, the UK. Yes, one of the top 5 feminist countries in the world. It seems like every time I'm reading one of these crazy stories of some wacky, deluded feminist broad doing something criminal, it seems like the majority of the time it's coming out of the UK. Now that right there should tell you something. And what it tells you is you would have to be a nut job to date a British woman. Do not date these broads, my UK brothers. Stay away from your own women. It seems like the majority of them are nuts. Girlfriend 20 who slashed her lover with a 7-inch kitchen knife in the face at his university flat while drunk and high on drugs is spared jail time. Oh, really? Let me say that again. Is spared jail time after judge heard she was charming. Yes, because in the feminist West, if you're attractive and charming, you can get away with almost anything. So the woman took drugs and drank heavily. But the night turned nasty when she grabbed the kitchen knife and slashed his face. Court told she's a woman of integrity. Really? People of integrity don't slash other people in the face. Who is in a controlling relationship. Oh, well, there you go. It was the man's fault. He controlled her and pushed her, and she had to get out of the relationship any way possible, including slashing his face open. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because what the hell does it matter if you're in a controlling relationship or not? The only thing that justifies violence against somebody is self-defense. Where was the immediate threat to her? All right, let's just continue. She walks free from court after judge agrees to suspend prison sentence. Every time I see one of these stories to pussy-ass white knight judge who can't help but see this girl as some kind of victim because they've been taught that women can never do anything wrong. It's always the man, and women are always innocent victims. They can't help but see these women as innocent victims. Even when they do something horribly wrong, they have to try and bend their brain around the idea that a woman could do something wrong. Their thoughts get twisted. They have to find some rationalization to let her off. The mental gymnastics required here. Oh, it's the man's fault. He was controlling. So she slashed his face open with a fucking kitchen knife. A woman who stabbed her boyfriend in the face after taking drugs and drinking heavily was avoided jail time after her lawyers insisted she's charming. Who gives a shit? She's fucking charming. So charming people can slash and kill, but that's okay because they're charming. Stephanie Roberts, 24, slashed her lover, Ravi Benitez, 19. He was a younger guy, too, when she visited him at Warwick University on November 24th. Mr. Benitez suffered slash wounds before a security guard managed to rustle the 7-inch knife from Roberts' hands. Oh, my God. She was spared jail at Warwick Crown Court after the judge was told she's an intelligent young woman of integrity and charm. Why is it that judges always let women off with a slap on the wrist because they want to destroy the girl's bright future? But the guy, he has no future. He's a loser. He's scum. He is a bane on society. Society would be better off without him. He needs to go to jail to protect society. But what kind of message are you sending to this broad when she slashes a guy's face open and she gets no jail time and goes free? Isn't she just going to do it again because no consequences? Would you inconvenience her? But she had to wait a year for trial? So what? Nothing. It didn't impact her life any. So she missed school for a day, went to court, and got sentenced and took a plea bargain or something. And the judge gave her a slap on the wrist, whatever. No consequences. So essentially, she'll do it again. And she'll probably kill somebody or do something worse. And then she'll suffer consequences, but by then it'll be too late because somebody's life will be lost. She could have killed this guy, by the way, a little lower. She could have slashed his neck instead of his face, and that'd be that. The court was told Roberts of South Kensington, London, took an antipsychotic drug, Xanax, before going out drinking with Mr. Benitez and his friends. So, in addition to being on medication, antipsychotic? Antipsychotic? She's psychotic. Yeah, she could be charming. Holy shit. She's a fucking sociopath. She'll put on whatever face that she needs to put on to get what she wants. Oh, she's so charming and she has integrity. She's showing you what you want. She wants you to see. And by the way, look at the picture. She's an attractive freaking girl, which is very rare in the UK. I guess this judge hasn't seen a good-looking woman since 1978. So, he's like, oh, you're so pretty. His lizard brain is kicking in. He's such a pussy-ass whipped cuckboy. Oh, I need some kind of excuse to let you off because you're giving me a Woody. Okay. Yeah, you were controlled in your relationship, so you lashed out. What is that? What the hell's that justification, you moron? She was in a controlling relationship. What does that mean? What does that mean? I could just say he was controlling, and then, that justifies me almost killing him. Yeah. What? Oh, God. Serenity now. Serenity now. Okay. This is so retarded. Ay. The story goes on to say, when they returned to Mr. Benitez's flat at the university, which he shared with other students, Roberts attacked him. It doesn't sound like there was any immediate threat. She just attacked him. Boy, that sounds like the actions of a very controlling individual. Yeah, I bet it was a controlling relationship. She was probably the control freak. The court heard Roberts pointed the knife at Mr. Benitez before telling him, I'd rather kill the person who's fucked me up the most. I know perfectly well what I'm doing. Gee, those sound like the words of, I don't know, possible psycho on antipsychotic drugs who's mixed alcohol with Xanax and is now flipped out. Yeah, And she said she knows what she's doing. I believe her. Why didn't the judge believe her? Oh, because she's attractive. And she's wearing a nice little pink unicorn shirt. Ho, okay. She then later called her father, telling him, you need to get me before I kill him. You need to get me right now. You come right here, right now, or it's the end. Boy, I don't hear anything in that conversation that makes it sound like he did anything to her in that moment. You can't justify violence against somebody unless they're physically trying to harm you, and then your violence is self-defense. There's no self-defense. You just attacked him. The only person that needed to defend himself was him. And by the way, he should have killed her. Then, no more problem, because she slashed him in the face. He'd been perfectly justified in killing her. He could have killed her in self-defense. Problem solved. But no, being the pussy, wimp, white knight, mangina, he let her live. Some bitch had attacked me with a knife. I would have killed her, and I'd have been perfectly justified. It's called self-defense. And then she won't go out of her way to kill somebody else, because I guarantee you this chick is going to go on to wound, maim, or kill somebody else. If the guy had defended himself and killed her as he should have, well, no more problem, right? Oh, but you can't defend yourself against a woman. Oh, no. Even if she almost kills you, you can't do that. It's not right. It's not justified. You can never raise your hand to a woman, even if she stabs you in the face with a knife. Yep, there she goes. There she is. And I'm not going to say that she's obviously, objectively speaking, she's not unattractive. Saw the body, decent body, pretty face, young. Of course, the judge felt swayed to give her a suspended sentence. But Adam Western, defending, said of Roberts, she had been subject to controlling behavior and isolated from her friends. Really? How? What do you mean? How? They don't live together. She went to visit him. She attacked him with a knife. She said, I'm going to kill you. Well, geez, it sounds like, yeah, she's the controlling one. She says he manipulated her entirely. Really? From the woman who threatened to kill him, slashed him in the face, called her daddy, said, get here and get me before I kill him? Yeah, that doesn't sound like somebody who is under somebody else's glove or under somebody's boot heel. He manipulated. Who cares what she said? She'll say whatever she needs to. Her own words contradict anything she's saying. And by the way, there's no justification for what she did anyhow. He was controlling. Was he abusive? What does controlling mean? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Give me some specific examples of things he did that were controlling. Oh, he can't do that. She's described as an intelligent young woman of integrity and charm. Oh, well, she's smart. She's smart, so we got to let her off. Yeah, she almost killed the guy, but it's just a man anyway. He's the disposable. He's a tampon of the world. We don't need to worry about him. He's just waste. He's garbage. You know, she's what's important, and she's intelligent and young. We can't ruin her life. Oh, she didn't ruin her own life by slashing some guy's face open with a knife and threatening to kill him. After admitting wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, Roberts received a 2-year prison sentence, suspended for 2... I love it. This judge is a pussy. I gotta imagine a lot of these judges are getting a lot of action on the side. I mean, I imagine that this chick, her next visit was to his chambers to give him a blowjob and a good pounding. I mean, I'm sure he hit that ass, or I'm damn near sure. I mean, come on. Come on, really. I mean, you're a UK judge. You got all these hot pieces of ass coming in front of you, all these entitled young broads. Yeah, maybe you can, you know... Maybe you can hit that. Yeah, sure. Why not? Probably did. I'm sure he dreamed about it and thought he might have a chance as he tried to validate himself to her and white knight for her in hopes of getting her approval. This old, shriveled up old prune fucking judge giving her 2 years suspended sentence. You want to know who's manipulating people? This psycho. This broad on antipsychotic drugs. Oh, well, she's on drugs and she's got mental problems. She's not responsible for her actions. Even though she said she knows what she was doing. She was also given a rehabilitation activity and a restraining order banning her from having any contact with Mr. Benitez. Boy, it doesn't sound like Mr. Benitez had her under control. I mean, if he was manipulating her and controlling her, he didn't seem to have any control. I mean, was she did anybody seem like she was acting like somebody who was like an abuse victim? Somebody who had been at least psychologically abused to the point where she had been manipulated to the point where she was under his thumb? I mean, the way she acted, those are not the actions of a woman who is being controlled by anybody. If anything, she's out of control. Hence the drugs. Judge Sylvia, oh, a woman? This was a woman? Oh, now I'm pissed. Now, well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, actually. I should not be surprised. I mean, maybe if this woman had beat up a baby or something, the judge wouldn't have been sympathetic. But since she tried to kill a man, oh, well, that's okay. He's just a scumbag man anyway, and I'm a woman, and I'm a judge, and I've had it hard my whole life, and I'm a goddamn feminist, and I'm a proud feminist. And you go, girl. You slashed that son of a bitch's face. Yeah, I had a controlling boyfriend once. Oh, I sympathize with you. It was, by all accounts, a pretty toxic relationship. It involved him providing her with Xanax on a regular basis. What? Why was she taking Xanax in the first place? And who forced her to take Xanax? Wouldn't she be taking it because she's a psycho? There's a lot we don't know about here. Judge Sylvia. Oh, yeah, it's his fault. So, again, it's all the man's fault. It's all the man's fault. He forced her to slash his face. It's his fault. Judge Sylvia, addressing Robert, she added, on this evening on 2 separate occasions, you lunged at him with a knife. Yeah, but he gave you Xanax, so it's his fault. Uh-huh. Okay, I don't understand that logic. I don't know how does that have anything to do with anything? That's not relevant. It's not relevant at all. That's blaming the victim. The first occasion is what caused the damage, and there are two slashes. So she didn't just cut him once, she cut him twice to the face. Because she wanted to wound him. She wanted to make him ugly so he could never find another woman. That doesn't sound like the actions of someone who is being controlled. And to his finger, when he put up his hand to defend himself, the judge added it was a very, very dangerous way to behave. What? What? It sounds like she's talking to a little kid who fucking drew on the wall with crayon. It was very, very irresponsible way for you to behave. Talk about minimalizing language, because if you take out a knife when you're distressed and angry, you have to, and you've had a lot to drink, you can cause very serious injuries indeed. Talk about the most pussy-ass response on earth. Jesus Christ. Both he and you are very fortunate. Oh, I love this, how she's trying to equate him in terms of responsibility to her. You're very fortunate, but he and you are very fortunate you did not do so on this occasion. Yeah, because he's equally responsible, right? Right? But I have read a great deal about you in both the prosecution and the defense, except I must sentence you according to your basis plea, of which makes clear you had some time been with the victim. What? Sometime been the victim of a mentally abusive relationship? Because she said so? Oh, so even if you slash somebody across the face, that just adds to your legitimacy as a woman. Oh, of course, because now I've got real go points, baby. I've slashed a man, an evil man, manipulator, controlling man in the face, and since I'm a woman, I had to have had real legitimate cause to do it, so that only backs up and adds validity to my claim that he was mentally abusive to me. Mentally abusive. She could have left him. They didn't even live together. If he was so abusive, wouldn't he be the one cutting her face? It doesn't make sense. Your circumstances had pushed you to the limit. Yeah, this judge, I'm being pushed to the limit by the amount of nonsense and mental gymnastics this judge is trying to perform to justify giving this woman no jail time. Pushed you to the limit. Yeah, you were pushed to the limit as you tried to kill him in front of witnesses and a security guard. And the combination of drink and drugs that had been supplied to you by him that night was sufficient to push you over the edge. Yeah, I've heard that taking Xanax makes you homicidal. Yeah, that's one of the side effects, right? Right? Yeah, so now even women are of course, women are white knighting for other women because it serves their own purpose. And there's where it happened. When she went to visit her boyfriend at Warwick University, he's so controlling, yet she's going to see him, going to visit him. And where'd the knife come from, huh? Huh? Where'd the knife come from? Oh, she brought the knife with her? How was there a security guard there to grab the knife out of her hand? Did this happen in a public area of the fucking school? If it did, which is what it sounds like, then she had premeditation. She didn't just grab a knife that was sitting there. She brought the knife, it sounds like. Yeah, this judge is a moron. This judge is a fucking moron. Premeditation, slashed him in the face twice. Why wasn't it attempted murder? Why wasn't it attempted murder? This shit pisses me off. This is a perfect example of how the system is totally one-sided and 100% biased against men. It's always the man's fault, no matter what he does, and even stuff that's 100% irrelevant, like him giving her Xanax. What the fuck does that have to do with her trying to kill him? Oh, well, he contributed to her precarious mental state, so it's his fault, too. Of course, if it had been the opposite, it would still be the man's fault, and, that would be an irrelevant fact. And it would have nothing to do with the case, and he would get jail time, big jail time. I guarantee if this had been a guy, he would have got a minimum of 10 years, and there wouldn't have been any suspended sentence of any kind. So let me know what you think of this case in the comments section, and please like and subscribe, and donate to my Patreon if you are so inclined. You'll see a link in the last 20 seconds of this video, as well as in the description. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.